This one scares a lot of people when I speak to them about it, but it's actually not that difficult, and it's getting more sales by creating a report or a white paper. White paper is just a sort of posh name for report, really. And a report can be anything. I mean, typically, if I was producing these, when I'm producing these, it's between about 6 or 7 pages up to around about a couple of dozen, but it can be as long as a complete 100, 200, 300 page book. Completely your choice. Depends how wordy you are, how many photos you include, and whatever. But if you use white space liberally, which I tend to do, you do a cover page, which would be the first page anyway. The next one's probably a copyright page, so that's 2 already. Then an index, which will just be what you're going to do, and then 5 or 6 pages, each with about 300-400 words. So you're looking not much more than, if you were to type it out solid, it would probably be about 4 pages A4, but what you're going to do is space it out, make it look nice and pretty, or at least not too daunting. So lots of short paragraphs, lots of white space, and it'll end up between 7 and 10 pages. And that works a treat because it kind of works in with most people's attention span as well. 100 pages they're going to put aside to whatever. 10 pages doesn't sound too much. 9's even better because it's not even in double digit. And it can be a PDF, which is just you'd probably met them, it's a portable document file or something like that. It's the way everything seems to arrive that's a document on the internet that you don't want edited. Your word processor will almost certainly export as a PDF. If not, there's lots and lots of ones that do. OpenOffice is one, LibreOffice, Libre Office is the one I use because it's sort of span away from OpenOffice, but it seems to work more reliably on my PC anyway. And those are for Windows or Mac. They're perfectly free, and you just open the the document file and then export as PDF. Or even better, if you haven't got that many people you're trying to do, then a printed report. So you can get the binders from places like Staples, Amazon, wherever, or if you've got 2 dozen pages onwards, you can even get it printed into a booklet from places like CreateSpace, and they do what's known as print on demand. So you can do as little as 1 copy, but it's professionally bound and arrives through the post. So lots of different ways of doing this, but I don't know about you, but I find that a physical report or a physical book I'll go back to occasionally, whereas at a PDF I've got hundreds, probably more than hundreds, lying around on my hard drive, and I don't even know where they are. Well, I know where they are, but I don't know what they're called because they're weird names often. And will I ever go back to them? Probably not. At least if it's sat on my desk or sat on my shelf or sat in front of me somewhere else, I stand a chance looking at it and remembering it. And if you can get as big as a book, fantastic, because people don't throw books away, generally speaking. But reports, quite often they won't do either because they look important. If you're doing it online, then if it's PDF, then you can swap it for an email address, and that gives you permission to send people information every now and then without spamming them, obviously. But effectively you say, well, you put a form on your website and any halfway decent autoresponder will do that. Lots of different ones. There'll be a link below this one to the one I use called Aweber, but there's other ones around there. And what they'll do, they'll give you a form designer, so you don't have to be particularly good at anything graphic like that. You just choose from lots and lots of pre-built ones that look quite nice, and you say, right, well, put your email address in here and possibly a name. If you go to the page that's linked from the end of this video, you'll see one of the forms. I don't even host that one. Aweber hosts it for me, so all I do is put a link direct to the form, and they say, well, okay, we'll show it every time someone clicks that link. Fine, works for me. It works really, really well. And they handled all the email thing. They handled the unsubscribes, all that kind of stuff, all the technical stuff that really life's too short to do proper, do yourself. So swapping a PDF one, that's the plus point of a PDF, incidentally, rather than a printed. But even then, you could do a printed report and say, look, give me your name and mailing address, and I'll send you it. It's too important to go by email or whatever, or we personalise it, or whatever other excuse you want to use. And should use the word reason really, but it is an excuse, and that's another one. We can't send it by email because, and if you ever read a book called Science of Influence by a guy called Robert Cialdini, that word because is really magic. Basically because people think if there's something after the word because, there must be a reason, and we actually stop reading or stop thinking at that point. So swapping it for an email address, put a form on your website. It can be a annoying pop-up one, or just a regular form. My tendency is to prefer regular forms just because I find pop-ups annoying. And then you send them the PDF, and then once a week, once a month, send them other information. Very much like, as I said, if you sign up for the list of tips like this that I've got at the end of this, below this video, you'll get something once a week, maybe a little bit more often if I got something really important to send out, but essentially just once a week, and another tip that will remind you, first off, to promote your business, and secondly give you, oh yeah, I haven't tried that yet. But that kind of report or white paper, or it could be a video like this one, again you can swap that for an email address quite happily. Lots of different ways of doing it, but it sets you apart from your competition again, and that's what we're after. You don't need to be thousands of miles in front. If you look at the Olympics or any other sport, often milliseconds split between first and third place, and that's all you need to be. You need to be up in the top. So it's just another way of creating a slight point of difference, something that sets you ahead of the crowd, and they think, okay, they're helpful, they sent me that. Yeah, actually there was some useful information. If you're looking for a subject for a report, 7 tips to 7 questions you never thought to ask. All those, 7's a magic number, and it's very easy. Just write a page on each, and for a page I really mean 3 to 4 paragraphs on each of those, and it won't take you very long, and they're not long paragraphs, and that's more than enough of a thing to get people thinking, okay, I'll use them because they've been helpful, and that's the difference. So if you need a bit more, have a look at the link below and sign up to mine, and if not, don't. Your choice. Thanks for listening.